Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Richard N. And today on Fast Giddy, we are going to be talking about Slack. Yes, Slack is a very, very powerful tool. It's a very special tool that everybody that works in a team, or perhaps maybe you are working remotely, you might need to have, as it helps you to collaborate and communicate while working, especially if you're working remotely. But before then, I want to talk a little bit about some features that you get to enjoy when you start using Slack. And then I will still have to introduce Slack so that in case you don't understand, maybe you're hearing it for the first time, you know what it is like. So let me go to my slide. So this is my slide here, and we talk about Slack tutorial for beginners for this year. And yes, Slack, as you can see here, is a cloud-based messaging app that tries to help businesses and teams communicate and collaborate. What this means is that if you are in a team and you want to collaborate, Slack is one of those useful tools that you're going to find very, very, beneficial for you to be able to achieve what you want to do. Now, this is especially if you work remotely. Now, Slack allows users to chat just like your WhatsApp and then share files just like you'd share files on your WhatsApp and then also work together in organized space called channels. So what we're going to understand now is that Slack helps people to organize in an organized spaces that are referred to as channels. Okay. So these channels is just like you have your channels on your WhatsApp or whatever. So this one is quite advanced, but just understand channels like you'd understand your Telegram channel, your Facebook, your Facebook pages, then your WhatsApp channels. Okay, so let us see the features that Slack has to offer to those that are going to adopt it. You know, after this video. So if you're going to adopt Slack, here's a few of the features you're going to enjoy. So the first one is the channels. So Slack allows you to create channels which could be private or public. And this actually serves as a dedicated space for work, and it brings the right people and information together. Yes, this means that if you're working, for instance, if you're working in a company, let's call it company A, these channels actually provide every department the opportunity, to be able to collaborate together. Like, for instance, if you work in the finance department, the company can actually have a finance department where anything that has to do with finance, you go there and you talk about it. Okay. Then we also have the communication, which actually is a feature in Slack that offers you things like chats, then the audio and video clips, and then the huddles. So the huddles actually is more like your early morning drills where you will talk about what you are planning for the day, and then your chat is the texts that you exchange. Hello, how are you? Are you at the office yet? Okay, did you bring breakfast? I'd like to come take some breakfast and all of that. And then this audio is more like you have your audio, sometimes you can actually make voice notifications. You can actually make, some voice notes and share with your teammates, trying to like pass information to them. And then we have the asynchronous work. Okay. Now, this means you are that with your Slack, you get to access information you get to access information in your own time. Okay, so this has to do with like your kind of time zone. Time zone is something that works depending on where which part of the earth that we are located. Okay, so we are in Nigeria here, and while our own time here is plus or minus, it's GMT plus one. Somebody living in Australia actually lives about 12 hours away from Nigeria. So, but in as much as we are working together, whenever you send a message on the Slack channel where that person that lives in Australia also works, is going to get your message just as you're getting it, but it's not going to be at their own time zone. You might get your message by 5 p.m. here, where they're getting their message there by exactly 12 a.m. in the early in the morning. So this is just how this one works. So that is the asynchronous work feature in Slack. Then we have shared information. So this feature ensures that everyone in an organization has access to the same shared and searchable information. So in as much as we work in that organization and you are within that channel, whatever is shared within that channel, you are going to get access to it. Okay. So let us now go to the other part where we see the benefit of using Slack. So one of the benefits we have of using Slack, as we've been saying ever since, is that it improves your communication between yourself and your teammates. Okay, then it improves the ability for you guys to work and collaborate remotely. Now, aside that, Slack also helps users to feel more connected to their teams. Yes. You don't have to work in isolation, because with Slack, you have people that you can actually gist and talk with. Okay. Then Slack also helps people work together in a more connected and flexible and inclusive way. Yes. With Slack, no matter where you are always going to be connected with people, and, because you're connected now, you also get to enjoy this environment that is quite flexible and highly inclusive. So, but then we also have the Slack add-ons, which are things that you also get to, you know, integrate into your Slack channels and all of that. So we say Slack AI is an add-on that unlocks knowledge across Slack channels and workspaces with a conversation summary. So this is an add-on now. Like an add-on is that extra tool that you have to add to make sure that your workspace is complete. I'm just giving an instance. So now this one that Slack has is Slack AI. And what this AI does is that it helps you to, to give you conversation summaries, and this works in all the summaries in all the channels. So in other words, if you actually install this Slack AI in every channel in your Slack workspace, it means that whenever there is a conversation, this Slack AI can actually help you to create a quick summary of all you have been discussing in those different channels. Now, the last part I want to talk about is who uses Slack. Well, Slack is used by both the large and small organizations or companies, and also small and large teams. And now the major aim of Slack, or developing Slack, is to help teams collaborate on the go or at their desk. What this means is that perhaps you are out for lunch, you can still see what is going on in the office. Perhaps you are out on your vacation, maybe you work remotely in, maybe possibly in South Africa, but then you are vacationing in, maybe, in the Maldives, or maybe Bora Bora. You can still be able to get an update on your on your Slack, knowing what is going on. Whatever is being shared while you are away, you can get them because you are a part of the Slack channel or that team on Slack. So that is just how this works. So the next part now is where we're going to demonstrate actually how these things work perfectly. We want to demonstrate them practically so you can see how it works. So how I'm back to Slack channel, to Slack website now. Of course, it's just slack.com. This is it here. I'm going to add it on the video description. So now how can you create a Slack account? The first thing you want to do is to come to slack.com, and when you get here, the next thing you want to do again, like I was saying, when you want to create your account on Slack, what you have to do is come to the website slack.com, and when you're on slack.com, the next thing you want to do is try to get to know about Slack for the first time, and the way to do that is to click on this get started here. When you click on get started, you're going to be allowed to start the account creation process on Slack. Now it says first ever enter your email. We suggest using the email already. The email address you already use at work. Okay. Now, this one requires that you put your Slack, or that you're going to put your work email address here, which actually is going to be your name at your company.com. But most times, we only have our Gmail account. Okay, we don't have a work email address because maybe because our company does not have an email address assigned to us. So what we do is we come to this continue with Google here, and then we click on it. But then, if you also have your email account from Apple or iPhone, you can use this one at the bottom. So let me use the continue with Google since I have a Gmail account. So I'm going to click on continue with Google, and you can see that it's now going to ask me to select the particular email address that I wish to get signed into. So I want to sign into this one. So I'm going to click on that. And when I click on that, you can see that it has taken me to where I'm going to say continue. Okay. In this part now, I'm going to have to just, okay, I think I need to use something else. Let me go back. Okay, so let me use this other one here. Let me use this one now. So I'm going to use that one, and you can see that it's asking me to continue. So I'm click on continue. Now I click on continue now, and it says get started on Slack, la la la, create a workspace and all of that. So now it is saying that we should create a workspace, which means that we want to add or specify where what we want. Now this workplace actually can be like your business, can be like where you are currently working. Perhaps you want to manage your teams, right? So I want to go ahead now and click on create a workspace. So I'm creating a workspace now, and let's see what it says. Now I've clicked on create a workspace. The next thing I want to do is tell it the name of company that I'm working. Say, what's the name of your company? So I want to call it, Otanwa what? Otanwa Group of what? Of companies, or Otanwa PLC. Otanwa PLC. So when I finish this, I need to say, okay, next. When I say next now, it's going to ask me what is my name. So perhaps my name is Dr. Otanwa. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to click on next after entering my name. So it's now asking me, it says, who else is Ottawa, is in Ottawa team? So this is where it's now asking us to be able to specify or add our co-workers in here. So if you have your co-workers that you wish to invite, perhaps people that that works with you that you really want to invite into your Slack, you need to add them here. Just simply put in their email address. But then in some point, it maybe say perhaps you don't have anybody that you want to invite. Maybe you are still having a new company. You can just simply copy on the click on this copy invite link. When you copy now, if you click on this copy invite link, it means that you want to be sending it to your teammates. Okay, you want to be sending to your teammates. As soon as you hire them, they have to come in, right? So I've now copied it and I've saved it here. So the next thing is I just want to say, okay, I've copied it, and then I can also, okay, skip this step, showing that I don't want to invite anybody yet. So I will click here to skip the step. Now, it says, what's your team working on right now? So I want to say my team currently is researching on, maybe what's okay, biotonic what? Biotonic research is what we are working on right now. So we're going to do what? We're going to say, okay, next. Showing that I've actually added that one now. So it says, get started with Slack Pro, blah, blah, blah. We are not here for Slack Pro. We just want to know how this works so we can be able to decide if we're going to continue working with it or not. So I'm going to say start with limited free version because that's what we can afford at the moment. So I've clicked on that now. So you can now see that my Slack environment has been what? It has been created. Now, this is my Slack environment. Remember that we created, what that we're working on biotonic research. It is now here. Now, this is Slack environment. Now, within the Slack environment, you have things like this here is our workspace. You can see our workspace here. This is otawa.slack.com. This is our workspace. You can actually set a lot of things here up. But before then, let me explain what this other part here means. You can see that we have home here. The home is currently where we are. Then we have our DMs. The DM actually means your direct messages. So whenever somebody messages you, click on your profile and then send you a message. You're going to see you're going to see those messages on your DMs. Then we have activity, which shows all that you've been doing ever since you sign up to this account. Okay, you'll be seeing them here as you are sending people messages, as you change your profile pictures and all of that. You'll be seeing them in your activities, in your activities, feed. Then we have these three dots here, which actually allow you to select templates, automations, and then canvases, and then this and all of that. So this is just it now. So I want to go back to the home so I can be able to explain more things here to you. Now we have here now, this is our Slack now. Okay, this is our Slack now, and you can see that in here we have our channels here. So this our channel is where we talk about all what we are doing. So we can see here is all Ottawa, all Ottawa peers. So anybody that is here now, this actually is a channel here. We have some default channel, which is this all Ottawa PLC. We have biotonic research, then we have social. These are three channels that came with it. Now, maybe perhaps I want to add another channel. What will I do? I'll come here and I'll click on what? Add a new channel. So if I want to add a new channel, I'll click on this plus here and I'll come here and I'll say create a new channel. So I'll click this and then I can now come and say, okay, I want to say now I want to select what the kind of channel I want to create. So is it going to be a project starter kit or help request process or team support or feedback intake and triangle? Is it a new hire onboarding, blah blah blah? So if I want to make it blank, I can just remain on this blank. But then if I also want to see other different kind of channels I could actually create, I could click here to browse all of them. You can see I can actually say, okay, let me create an external partner starter kit, maybe sales deal tracking, or maybe marketing campaign starter kit, or ask an expert, or bug intake and in triangle, brand guidelines of and all of that. So I just want to go with blank channel. So I'll click on blank channel, and then now I need to name it. Okay. So if I want to name it now, I will be maybe okay research, okay research group, but then I can actually put dash. Okay, so I can call that OK Research Group. And now this visibility part is where we are going to make our channel either visible or what or private. Now, what this private and public this in here means is that if you make this channel public, it means that anybody that gets invited into this place can be able to see what is going on in this OK Research channel. However, if I make it private, it is only those that have been invited into the channel that are going to see what is going on within that channel. So I'm going to make it public now, then I'll create another one that is private. So I'll click on this one now on the public, and I'll click on create. Okay, you can see that we have actually created it now. So the next thing is for us to add people to our what? To our OK Research Slack channel. So we don't have anybody for now, but if you have anybody, you can just type their name here and just invite them. Like now, I see that this one actually have Nathaniel or James. So I'll just say, okay, let me say James at .com. So you can see that let us just invite this person now. This is just how to invite it, and then you can click on what? You can click on add. Now when you click on add now, the person will be what? Will be invited. So you can see now, you say this person looks new. So an external, you say, are they from an external organization? This one means that okay, this person actually came in from another company. But then if they are within your company, you can simply click here and then you click on next. Okay. So you can also send invitation. This person will be able to receive the invitation that they have been invited to to this workspace or to this Slack channel. So that is it now. So let me see create another one so you can actually see how it works. Remember that to create a channel in Slack, come down to the channel here and then you see where they say add channels. So click on add channels and then click on create new channel. And from here now, you can now say okay, a blank channel, or let us even create something like let us create something like maybe sales deal tracking, and then we're going to say next, and then we are going to use templates, and then now we want to ask it to be that okay, it is actually a private channel, so that it's only people that are invited here that can be able to see what is going on here. So I'll click on private and click on create. So this means that this channel now is actually what? It's actually private. If you're not invited, you cannot see what is going on here. And then how do you know a private and a public channel? You can see that here now we have our list of channels here. We have All Otama PLC, we have Biotonics Research, we have OK Research, then we have our social, right? Now look at it now. You can see that in this sales deals here, you can see that there's a key next to it, right? There's a key here. This key here means that this channel is not public. You cannot find this channel. In fact, you cannot see whatever goes on in this channel if you're not invited into this channel. It's more like it's our dark web here. So you cannot see what is in it if you are not given the access to come into it, right? So that is how to create both a private and a public channel. That summarizes how to add channels to our Slack account. Now we have our direct messages here. So if you actually want to send out a message to somebody, you just have to come in here, come to this your direct message section, and then you can just click on their name and then come here to write your message, and then when you're done with your message, you can just hit enter. So let me say, hello doctor, how are you today? Okay, that I'll hit enter. You can see the message actually has been sent, but that actually means me sending message to myself. So let me send to James. So this is James now. I'll come to James' profile and then I'll write, hi James. That's okay. Welcome to the team. Hope the onboarding process was not tough for you. So I'm done with this. I'll need to hit my enter on my keyboard, and then James can receive my message and then be able to respond, and we can now continue to exchange messages. Right now, sometimes I can still need to add some co-workers into my Slack account. I need to come here to click on add co-workers, and in here I'm going to just click on this place here to add their name. Right, so I can just name at name james.com. That can be, and just a somebody I want to invite. And then when I'm done putting in the email, I'll come down here and I'll select the kind of account I want to give them. Are they going to be guests? Are they going to be member of the team? So if they are member of your team, of course, you need to make them member. If you want them to be here as guests, just click on guest only. So let me just click on this, and I'll do what? I will just invite, and I'll click on done. So anytime I want to message them, I'll come here and I'll click on their profile, and then I can just do what? I can just write my message to them. So that one is that on Slack. So let me now talk about other things like doing things, and they may be sending documents to our friends or our coworkers on Slack. So now, apart from sending messages, what about things like links? What if you wanted to add the message and then let it have a link, and you can want to send it to your colleague? How do you do it? So now, this is my message to Mr. James. I will say, okay, hello again. Today has been very hectic. Here is a sales page I want you to replicate for our next week campaign. Quickly click here, click this link to view it. Okay, now I want Mr. James to see the sample campaign page that I wish for us to have for our team. So I'm sending him a link now. But how do I attach this link here? Okay, so to attach this link, I have to what? I have to come here, highlight this thing here, highlight this, click this link, and then you can see that we have this our environment here. This is our link here. This is our link insertion, right? So I'll click on this, and here I can now attach a link. So I'll say, okay, HTTPS, then I'll put the website name, and then when I do that, now I can now say, okay, save. Okay, I've now attached the link now. So when I now send it now, he'll be able to see that actually I've sent him a link to go and what? To go and click on. Okay, so I can even format this message. Now I can format this message by making it bold or italicized. I can click on this bold here, and then the message will become bold. That part of the message can become bold. I can even do it for every part of the message. I'll click B, and everything will just become bold. Now, what if I wanted to do it that it should be italicized? So I can come here and I'll say, okay, kindly do this, ASAP. Okay, then but I don't want this ASAP. Now I don't want this kindly do this ASAP to be bold. I'll turn off the bold and then make it italics, right? So this is just how you can actually navigate, or you can actually use to toggle between the tools in your messaging page on Slack. So it's not difficult. So what if I wanted to give him a list of things to do for me? So I can say, okay, I can say list one is what? It's okay. Push the what? Push the crows away, right? Then list two. Okay, I was actually saying that now. Okay, so what if I wanted to add another thing again? I can actually add a bulleted list. I can come here and I'll say, okay, buy me eggs. Then I can come here and take another list again. Come here again and I can say, okay, fry the egg, and then the next one can be, okay, maybe package the fried egg, and lastly, do what? Send it to DHL. Okay, so this is my message now. I'll do what? I'm finished. I can actually do what? I can send it out. So that's how to add the bulleted list on your stuff. You can even still add code. You can actually add code here if your work actually requires you to code and all of that. You can even still come down here and record the clip to share with Mr. James so they can be able to work with it, right? So if you want to add emoji and all of that, you can actually add them here, and so on and so forth. So there are so many things you can actually add to this whole stuff here. So perhaps you are starting a message with, maybe we are trying to send a message to Mr. James now, and maybe you wanted to mention someone. Okay, how do you do that? You can say, okay, hi James, this person, what do? You can put the person's name by just pressing the at, and then put the person's name. You can say, okay, Dr. Tama wants to see you in his office. So you can say, okay, do it quick, he is leaving in 10 minutes. Okay, so you can see now I just added somebody, I just mentioned somebody in our conversation. And so when you now click on this now, you'll be able to get to the person's profile and then possibly be able to go and then maybe inquire more from the person that has been referred to him or that is being referred to, something like that. So now this is just how to use your Slack, and you can actually be able to add other things here within Slack and be able to add other things here. You can see that we have D1 notification, all of that. You can even be able to add other apps here. So let me click on add apps here so you can be able to see. You can actually add a lot of other apps here. Can you see now? You can actually add WebEx meeting, you can add box file picker, you can add Gigbot stand, ground up, poll and survey. You can actually add Slack for for Outlook. You can add blue jeans and all of that. So there are so many things you can actually do here, and we even have Slack Marketplace. Okay, in Slack Marketplace, that is where you have a lot of other tools that you can actually bring into your Slack. You can actually bring in things like your Slack for Gmail, Slack for Outlook, Slack Postman. We even have Trello and the rest of them. And then we have Jira Cloud. We have so many things that you can actually be able to bring in into your Slack. So for a start, I'm going to create our group channel. I'm going to create our group channel so that everybody can be able to get into it. And this group channel is what we're going to use to communicate, because I know that we are going to be asked to create a group channel. So I'll come in here and I'll create a group channel. I'll click on new channel, and then I can now come here and I'll say okay, blank, and I'll call it group. Let's call it group, uh, maybe group 4 accountability. Okay, so I can make it public and I can say okay, create. And when I'm done with this now, it's okay, add everybody, and that can now be our group. So this is just how to create your Slack channel. I still want to talk about other things like maybe your workspace. So you can see that this is our profile here. This is our profile, and we can actually set up our profile in ways that we'll be able to tell other people what we are going through or maybe what we are doing at the moment. So for instance, if I want to say that I am away for the next 30 minutes or for the next 2 hours, I just need to come here and click on pause notification, and I'll click for 2 hours. This one is sure that you don't want to receive any message for the next 2 hours. And then let me try to update my profile. So to update profile on your Slack profile, what you have to do is click on this place at the bottom here, then click on profile. You can see here now, you can come in here and you can now add how your name is being pronounced. You can actually add you can actually add your status now. You can add your status, say, okay, I'm in a meeting. You can add I'm in a meeting, and then how much time should this be okay, like maybe for instance, you want this to be removed after how many hours. You need to specify, okay, in maybe say today I'm in a meeting today, so I don't want to be disturbed. So you're going to pause on notifications, and then you're going to say okay, save. Then we still have a little bit of about yourself, and you can come here and say okay, today is whatever. You can say okay, tomorrow is March 5th, blah blah blah. I can say okay, save changes, and so on and so forth. So that one is your birthday now and all of that. So you can actually do all this now. If you want to add pictures, you can actually add pictures here. Can actually add pictures. Let me click on this edit now. You can see that here you can actually be able to add your display name. So I can say okay, surgeon. I'll put okay, surgeon, and then title. Okay, maybe doctor, all of that. So and then if you want to add your picture, you can click on this place here to add picture. You need to click on upload photo, and then select the picture from your list of photos here. So let me go to my downloads. That's where I will have photos. So I will click on this photo and I'll be able to upload it. So you can now see that we now have our photo here. So I'll click on save. So the photo will now be what? That will now be my profile photo. You can see that it has been added. Okay, so you can set your time zone here. So my time zone is going to be West African time. This is it here. So this is just how you can actually do your thing and be able to save your time and then update your profile on Slack. So when you're done with all this now, you need to click on save changes, right? Now we have saved the changes. Now it means that our profile is now what? Our profile is now correctly created. Okay, so now we still have Huddle. Huddle is that feature on Slack that allows you to actually, share a moment, that early morning meeting that you have with your team, to announce how the work is going to be like, to plan for the day. That is your Huddle. So anytime you click on the huddle, everybody that is on your team or on that channel are going to be notified that there is actually a call waiting for them. In other words, the huddle is more like a group call that help you to be able to plan the day. You can actually have a whiteboard and then be able to demonstrate what you want to do and all of that. And then we have the canvas, right? Where you can actually draw. You can actually draw your meeting for the day, draw you can actually draw your agenda and all of that, talk about the task, maybe how to achieve it and all of that. So this is just what it takes to be able to manage and use your Slack. Like we have always maintained, these tools are quite simple. They are not difficult. If you want to achieve anything with them, it's quite easy. So if you wanted to create another workspace, this is just it. This is your current workspace, is your Tama PLC. Just click on this add a workspace here. You're going to click on it and you're going to ask you to create a new workspace. Just come here and then click a workspace and then put on the name if you want to and all of that. So that is just it. If you want to create a workspace, just enter the name or just just like enter the name or we say enter your email and all of that. So you don't need to enter the email and then do as you do when you were trying to like create the account from the beginning. So this is really a very powerful and simple tool to use. There's also things like automations. Consider we have automations here. Automation in workflow actually help you to achieve a lot, even if you are not there. You can see that we have a lot of samples here. Okay, so we have things like, okay, this is a template now. So the template actually is what is already existing, and then you just have to like I mean you have to like say maybe like modify it to suit what you need now. So you can see that we have Google Sheet sales lead tracker. So this a fill out a form in Slack to add sales lead to a Google Sheet. So this one are just the different things you can actually do with your Slack. I don't want to go this advanced because we are still very much new. So let's just leave it here. So you can actually see more tools here, like I said this before, and all and so on and so forth. So Slack actually is not that difficult. You can actually come here, create a new message. If you click on this plus, you can be able to create a new message, a new channel, a new huddle, a new canvas, and then a new list. You can even create workflow and so on and so forth. You can even invite people here when you click on the plus. So to invite people, just simply click on the plus and then scroll down, click on invite people, and then put the person's email here, and then select what you want to invite them as, maybe as a guest or as a member of your channel, and they can now do what you can now send the invite by clicking on send here. And once you do that, the person is going to receive a message that they've been invited into a certain workspace and all of that. So this is just Slack for you guys. It's really not difficult. It's not thing that is so hard to achieve. So remember that fast video tutorial is going to be here and will remain here for everybody to keep getting updated help with these tools. So keep on coming back, keep requesting. If you have anything that you could not understand and you wish to understand further, go to the videos and then make sure that you drop your question, and then help us to share the videos, help us to invite your friends to the channel, and help us to drop your comment, as it will help us to ensure that the video gets to people that need it the most. So thank you very much. Thank you all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.